Hello and welcome to the Solution Therapist podcast. I am Karen, aka the Solution Therapist. Guys, it's been forever. Oh my God, where did I go? Oh God, it's been a long time since I've done a podcast, and now I'm doing a video podcast as well as the audio. Well, it has been. My last podcast was in May, but it has been a mad time. Lots happened, as you all know. I had been in America. I went to America for a book launch that lasted 3 weeks in America, flew to Vegas, flew to LA, flew to New York. The book just did bigger than we all had expected. We were featured on billboards in Times Square, which was surreal, actually. Um, Came home, did a wonderful talk on how to say yes to you. And moved into a brand new house out in Tremor, right by the beach, where I get up every morning at 6 for meditation and a swim with my newly got married. So it's just been like a magical, epical journey. It's been phenomenal. And it's been phenomenal because I've been able to step out of my own way and get out of my own way and allow myself to really, really, really just be in that empty vortex, that empty void, and this is the piece I'm going to really, really talk about, which is, the self-procrastination vibration. Self-procrastination, I swear, it's an absolute mother, beep, 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 beep. In truth, if I did not trust in myself in a bigger way, I wouldn't have said yes to even agreeing to be an author in this book. There is 20 authors and we all got to write a chapter. And of course, that was a contract and that it involved money and all of that. And if I didn't trust in myself, if I didn't trust in the peace within me that is deeply connected to the divine, that is the divine. I am created by the divine. There is that God spark, that divine essence, we call it the higher self, the enlightened self. If I had not attuned into that, deeply attuned into that, and if I had listened to the ego personality of Karen, which was, you cannot do this, you don't have the money for it, this is crazy, you can't be in America for 3 weeks, you've bills, blah, 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 blah. I would have told, if I had listened to the story of that, the story that really is trying to protect me, which is what self-procrastination does. And that's the piece I want to highlight here. If I had listened to that story, I would have turned it down. I really would have turned it down. And I remember meeting that moment inside of myself where I really questioned, do I give birth to this? Do I go with this, or do I say no? But luckily, the soul within, the divine self within, went, no, this is your inner calling. Something in me could feel the magical vibration of what it was I was saying yesterday, even though it was the unknown, it was the uncertain, which brings up absolute fear in us all when we don't know what it is that we're about to embark on. There was this magical vibration in me when I really listened to that higher self in me. I just knew to just say yeah. And I did. And the minute I stepped in and I said yes, and I truly surrendered into it, like truly surrendered into it. In a way, it was almost like I said, life, you can figure this out for me. Like I truly got out of my way. I didn't worry. I didn't try and plan and control and figure out how I was going to do it. I absolutely, and I'm really not lying here, I absolutely surrendered into trusting in that a higher intelligence in me already knew it was done, already knew it was already happening. And I remember going around and I used to say that to my husband, Jeff, it's already done. It's already taken care of. And I was impressed with how convinced I was by that statement, because I was truly convinced, like, this is the bigger picture. I was truly convinced by it. I was like, no, it's already done. And really what that was me believing in myself at a real deep level. And it has taken years, like years and a lot of work to strip myself down of my armor that I put on to protect myself against a world that was very cruel to me when I came into it, through the experiences that I had. It took years for me to take off that armor and to let go of my protective defense mechanisms. I had to really work through my deep story of self-rejection. Like, when you reject yourself, it's like if you were to reject a person, you would want to keep them at a distance. I was constantly trying to push Karen away inside of myself. And it took years for me to mend that relationship within, to really, really transform that relationship. And that was like years of therapy, purging and crying and going through my story of pain and suffering. And, I had rejected myself at such a deep, 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 deep level. I did not like who I was. I did not like myself physically. I was not able to express myself in the world. I worried about what others thought of me. I lived my life in more for, to be self-accepted. So people pleasing. There was no trust, and the work I've done, and I smile at that because it was fucking hard work. It was therapy. It was like silence, this level of silence that I went deeply into when I'd go away to Mount Melleray. And I did that continuously for 2 full years, where I'd constantly go up there, drop into these 3 days of pure silence, like pure silence to hear. I needed to try and hear my inner self, because the personality self had been running the show, and that personality within me was genuinely, she was established from being very wounded and hurt. So, her interpretation of that world out there and others was always based on a fear of being rejected and hurt again. So it took a long time to find that inner true voice, which is mine, which is me, which is who I am. And then it allowed me to be able to kind of reclaim myself in many ways. And I trained then as a Tantra teacher, and the Tantric way was really what unshackled me more. It really gave me back. And I found myself, and I found the things that really resonated with Karen, which saw me change my boundaries, which saw me change, and not intentionally, but people in my life started to go away, and new people started to show up, people who were more in alignment with how I spoke or thought. And, I went deep into spiritual studies, and I've always been a very intuitive kind of spiritual person, where I always had a knowing of a knowing, but I really nurtured that deeply. Really in 2011, I began to nurture that deeply. Found myself around a wonderful spiritual teacher that I just learned wonderful ways of looking at the world and how to look out at the world very differently. Trained as a psychotherapist, as you all know. So my work has been it has been deep. I am a human being. I have had raw feelings. I have had painful feelings. I have had self-rejection. I've had self-hate. I have had anxiety. And really and truly, I've had self-procrastination, where I would never allow myself to dream big or act on something big. I always found a way to say no and put a limit in front of me. But with America, I didn't do that. Thank God. And the book got bigger than we had anticipated. And now the book is going to be launched again. It's going out globally, which means it'll be translated into several languages. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful dance with myself, that when I showed up and I said yes to Karen, I showed up and I said yes to that call inside of me. I really leaned into it, and I allowed it to take over and lead the way. It happened. It really, really happened. And I just want to play this for you and show you this. So I'm going to, share my screen. Even if it comes through on audio, when this goes into audio. Yeah, I just want you to hear this. It's from Wayne Dyer. I play this, guys, whenever I want my little heart to open, before I drive out to the beach, before I do my writing. This is my little thing I play. I love this.
Nobody needs to ask the question, what is my purpose? It will always be found in service. If you can just for one day put your attention on making life better for someone else, if you can focus on thinking like that, that's how God thinks. It's an ancient concept, but it's still relevant. To touch someone's life is more valuable than any amount of money. My friend Byron Katie says, to believe that you need what you don't have is the definition of insanity. That you can't be fulfilled until you get all these things, that's an illusion. Really, you don't need anything more. It doesn't matter what it is you do. You could be a cab driver, a teacher, a factory worker, a manager. What matters is that you put your attention on how may I serve. Think of the people you go to, whoever you are in your path. You can run an entire business this way, not being attached to outcome, putting attention on service. Your life becomes about living those virtues. How can I serve? How can I be gentle? How can I be reverent? Thinking like that means you're living in meaning. The messages of the morning are about what you can and can't do, about how society defines you. But in the afternoon, after the shift, it's about connecting to an energy that's taking care of everything, and we're all just being done. Try to stop yourself from breathing, from your fingernails growing. Living the virtues is all we need to do. The truth is, I feel something else is in charge of all of us. So it's really about surrendering to it. Surrendering to something that is bigger than you, that you are connected to, and that's really in control of everything. There's a place deep within us that wants to feel fulfilled. That wants to know that my life has made a difference. That I've left this place, this planet that I've lived on, better than when I arrived. That someone's life has been profoundly touched because of my existence. We all want that. It's not about age or about finding yourself. Wherever you are, at whatever age, you're only a thought away from changing your life.
Oh, I just want to breathe that in for a minute. You know, that just really talks to me. Like, whew. You know, it's not just what's been said, it's the onset in that as well. It's like so profound for me. And the piece in it that I always love hearing is, you know, when we're living a meaning, we will become more reverent, more gentle. We will give more. We will want to give more from our hearts because we're in that beautiful state of connection. You know, when we're in service to others, our mind is off ourselves. We're not thinking of just ourselves. We're thinking of others. And I love all of that. And knowing that, you know, we're part of something more, something bigger. Like if you even hear me, where it brings me inside of myself is it drops me into that place. It drops me into the knowing of that I am, which is, you know, this person, this Karen within. I just love it. I absolutely love it. And the only thing that gets in your way of truly knowing that inside of yourself is self-procrastination. And self-procrastination, you know, if we were to look out through the eyes of compassion, it was in service to us because it truly believes at an unconscious level that it is protecting you and me. My self-procrastination would have believed that, well, the world out there is not good for Karen. It has hurt Karen, so I'm going to protect her. And its language becomes very limiting. If you listen to self-procrastination, you are pushing limits on what you believe. It's not doing that intentionally in a negative way to really hurt us. You know, it's not like a nasty thing, but it does hurt us because it entraps the soul. The soul is not meant to be entrapped. You know, you are not meant to be limited in your expression of yourself. You are your own wizard with your own wand. You get to choose how you want to express yourself on this planet throughout your day. Only you get to decide that. And self-procrastination was only there to try and protect you from the world out there, because maybe, like me, maybe you really genuinely experience genuine pain and suffering through your relationships with others. And that's okay too. Another day I'll talk about, going from the position of personalizing your relationships with others to embodying your own selfhood. So self-procrastination, when you hear it come up again, just breathe into where you feel it in the body and just tell it. It doesn't need to protect you or keep you back from yourself. That out there is a safe world. It's a playground for you to go and really experiment and play. And guys, just say yes to whatever it is that you want to say yes to. Just do it. Just do it. And if in doing it you trip or you feel it was a bit of a fail, in that fail, which I don't call a fail, it's a learning. You have to learn in every environment that you step into. You have to learn from that environment. You're only learning. We're always only learning. Self-procrastination and what it does. Sending you all so much love, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Happy Monday.